Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's going on, people? This is Inflewence. Thank you for joining me today for this review. I got Parkour, Fanstoys version of Cliffjumper, which is FT-53. And just off the bat, let me take this out because it keeps focusing on the box for some reason. I guess because it sees a face. I like the figure. It's really great looking. Proportions are great. I'm glad they did the fake chest because it's never going to look right without that. I know it's a contention of different people. Some people hate it. Some people are all right with it. I'm fine with whatever they need to do to get proportions of the robot and the car right. And this is perfect. Like, the car is really nice and fun to fool with. It is a little frustrating transformation, but we'll get there. And I will show you. There's a couple flimsy pieces. There's a couple things here that are not reminiscent of Fanstoys. Or I don't even know if I'll use that word right. It's late. I'm sorry. You know me. But it's just not. It don't seem the norm for Fanstoys. Let me put it that way. And it may be because I haven't compared this to any of the other mini bots, which I will later on. But maybe this is like the smallest, lightest bot that I've handled from Fanstoys. Which, you know, I always say diecast doesn't mean anything, but it's just weird to handle because it is so light and it's so small. Like, the proportions are small, the arms are small, and it's supposed to be that way. I hope they do Bumblebee because I can't wait for the Bumblebee. I do love that they get the proportions down to a penny racer. So they go with that instead of, say, the Porsche or whatever. It's cool. So we can jump into accessories. He comes with these two guns. The rocket launcher, kind of, and the regular pistol that he had. Put him over here for a minute. So you see the pistol, just straight up and down. You can move it back there and combine it. You can also move this, and that combines with this. So the way you do that is, after you move those things, you go back here and you can stick it on. There's a little space. You stick it back there like that, and that's how that works. Now this right here, the rocket launcher, pretty nice. The handle goes up. That's really for storing it on the car. Handle goes down. This goes up all the way around. Stops right there, but it goes all the way around this way because it hits these right here. Now you get the skis, the water skis for, I guess it could be snow skis too, but from that one episode, and you get 3 different heads. So let's show that. I'll show the water skis later on in vehicle mode. And here's the faces. This one comes on. I took it off because I like the face that I put on better. It looked, I don't know, it was weird to me. It's just no expression, just with the straight slit mouth kind of. And I done hit this over. This right here kind of is happy face. Here's kind of like, and the face that's on him. Of course, the norm, you get the card. It's nice artwork as usual. You get the directions. I use Fanstoys video directions, so I don't know how good they are. I did look through them. I started looking through the directions because I normally don't, but I've missed a couple things in the last few reviews, and I think I'm just gonna give. I don't give a once over of the directions because usually they're trash. Not necessarily Fanstoys. Fanstoys are usually okay. But there's a lot of directions that are usually trash, so I don't even pay attention to them. But I'm gonna start perusing them when I first get the figure, just so we can. Doing something different. I'm gonna do articulation first and then comparisons. So articulation, the first issue is the arms. There's a little space right there where this, you see that arm joint right there that moves up and down. It stays in there. Well, it doesn't stay in there. It's supposed to stay in there. When you're moving this arm joint, it comes up. That's really for transformation. You can use it though for articulation if you wanted to. So you have that, but really it's supposed to stay in there. And then you have the real arm joint right here. So that goes all the way around. Like I said, mine's loose. Mine doesn't stay in at all on this side. This side isn't as bad, but what's funny is this isn't as bad, but this is super tight. So the arm is super tight, but this joint isn't bad at all. This arm over here isn't super tight, but this joint still manipulate. It still won't stay. So I don't know. There's a screw there, right there. So you could probably get this joint tighter. And usually when there's screws, it does get loose because it moves. I would rather a pin be there, but they probably have it just for repair. Maybe they were thinking about that. So you got the head. The head goes all the way around. In order to take this off, I messed up because you can look up a great deal. And he is a short character, so looking up is probably better than looking down. He has really no look down. But then you just take this head off, you slide it off. Okay, it's not coming off, so I'm not going to take it off. But you just slide it forward. And there's like a little piece that goes like this in the back. It sticks in. It seems to be on tight, so I'm not fooling with it. I have no idea what's going on with my camera lately. Elbow, you got more than 90. Got bicep swivel here. You got typewriter fingers with a fixed thumb. So normal mini bot mess, I guess. You have waist that spins all the way around. You can get it back here. I think because of this, you can't get an ab crunch. I was trying to figure it out. I don't want to break it. So you get an ab back, and that's really it. This right here is another gripe of mine. You see how that was? It often does that. Like when you move it slightly, this whole thing, and I do like that this whole skirt is on an actual movement, so it helps in the articulation. But I think this joint is so tight that you can't really get this right, and it gets out of alignment all the time. Also, my leg over here comes out, and I'm not sure if it's something I did. I know it clamps around here, and also right there, that's supposed to be in, because I think it goes in on there. So it should stay. And maybe it will. Maybe it's just, maybe I'm flicking that out because now it seems to be okay. So let's get back to the skirts. So you got those skirts. Move this out the way. You can flip those up. So with that, you can get the super splits. And that's just friction. It's on a soft ratchet. Forward and back. Can't do the hurdles really. He's gonna hit it with his back foot, but you got about that much. But you can get straight out in the front to do the front kick if you wanted to. You got the thigh swivel built at the top. Knees are fully articulated all the way. You get the full feet. You can spin all the way around. They're on like a ball joint system. and then you can get out like that rock, and you get in like that. It's not a big rocker. It's kind of limited. You can get the toe down and up. Like I said, it's on a ball joint, so, and there's no independence, just one big foot. All right, so let's compare this to some figures now. We got Mirage. I just brought this in for fun because this is what I use as Bumblebee. However, you can see that's not gonna work. I need a Bumblebee, and I'll bring in Prime just because. And there they are. And just for the hell of it, I got Ace. This is the only Cliffjumper I have, and I will not be doing comparisons, because this is probably worth about 20 bucks, if that. And you can see what I mean. I'm glad for the fake chest, because this is how the chest looks with a lot of them that don't use the fake chest. Let's get this transformed into alt mode. So I can flip his arms up. You can move it off of that if you want. Get this out of here. Be careful. It's on a ball joint. It'll probably pop off first time you do it, or every time you do it. So, there we go. Wasn't bad. It's on an arm with a double. You see that? It's like double. And this arm, I think the pin is supposed to be painted right there, but all that paint is gone, and it's almost like you can't help it because of where it is, and it scrapes, and I don't know how you would help that issue. Pull that out, get this around here, and move this up. Then I'll just move this. I'm just getting this out the way, and I'm trying to be very careful so it doesn't come off the ball joint. I think this is the first time it did not. Backpack, I didn't really mention the backpack. It doesn't bother me. It is bigger. You know, the wish is you wish they would have gotten it a little bit tighter, but it's just not happening. Not happening. So just let that dangle, and then move this on this joint. Hold this. Now the thing with this is, on this side, like I said, this joint is super tight, and this one isn't bad, but in order to combat that, I put that down, and then I move that, and then move this back, because the arm's gonna be like this eventually. It's gonna be in this position. And then you can move this out all the way down, accordion the arm up, and then turn it in, because that fin right there will go in that little space. Doesn't really fit. I wish it would. I wish it was like a real tab, because then it would keep the arm where it's supposed to be, but it's not, so it doesn't. And this is better over here since it's loose, more loose. Flip that out, put that all the way down, flip this up here like that, flip it in and in like that. Now right here, I kind of move this down here, move it out, flip that out. This is where this waist comes in handy. Again, move this. It's a little piece, and it moves on this, you know, automatically moves where it needs to be. And you just flip that out, and like that. Then you flip this around here, flip the head in. Now this is where it gets kind of frustrating and tricky. Hard doesn't necessarily equal frustrating, and easy doesn't necessarily equal not frustrating. This is an easy transformation, but it's frustrating because of everything you got to do. Now you have to pull that out. You see that right there, and it's getting ate up. I don't know. This probably needs loosening. Gotta pull that all the way out. I don't know, it's not even out all the way, and you can see the silver from the screw getting ate up. I don't want to pull it so much and I break it. I'm sure this arm is die cast. However, I don't know how strong this piece is right here and all of this. So I'll try. Now you can flip this up. It still doesn't fit exactly right. Like it's weird. It's a weird thing. Make sure this is right. And this is what I mean too. While you're trying to flip this around, this doesn't tab in tight. It's just what it is. It doesn't. So anyway, move this up on this side, flip it around. And you see how it's supposed to sit, like just like that. And like all this stuff is flimsy and not really tight until you get it combined, like until you get all the parts where they need to be and they all tab in. So that's a frustrating part too. Now you'll look at this and it'd be like, oh, this is crooked. I was trying to get it straight. It's supposed to look like this. It'll become straight soon. You can move this up here and it's an over under. So you just gotta tab this in right there. This is how I do it anyway. I tab it in tight. Then I can tab this back in over here where it's supposed to be. Tab this in tight right here. Because it tabs like, and I think it came off the ball joint. It sure did. There we go. That's what happens. It is a little plastic piece too, so be careful. This ball joint is on a double hinge, so it's flimsy, all flopping around. Make sure you're pushing this up here like that in order to get this where you need it to go. Oh, God. All right, let me try it off camera. Just all the way in, and then it's kind of tight. So now you make sure the arms are still right, because they're not. A lot of times you see how that one got out because it doesn't stay, because it's not a tight tab. It's just a space for it to go. That's the easiest way to explain it. And I'll just move this up here like that. You don't have to really get it where exactly it needs to be. But now you do this over and under tab and these tabs in the back, and it kind of like magically goes into the right form, which I don't know how good that's going to be over the long haul. And the tip, the whole time you're doing this, you'll be pushing this together. But what happens is, what tends to happen with me is these start to get pushed together. You see how that's pushed a little bit in, and it has to be all the way out. It's just hard. It's just hard. And that's why this is not going right. But once you have it all the way out, then you can get it where you need it to go. This is how it should be. Had to get it off camera. It's probably going to fall out again. You can move this up here, even though this is going to rotate. Now move this back and make sure these are not out of sync. Spin this around like that, and then you can put this back down, because this is gonna be the final. Now let's work on the feet. Put it out there. I flip this out here. And what you're doing is just flipping everything out, all the panels. Move this out. Flip this up here. It's tabbed in there. I'll leave that like that, because then what you're going to want to do is, it seems really complicated when they do it, but you want to move this back like that and then get this above that stuff, and then you have it like this. Now you move this down here. You want to get this out the way so you can move this, accordion it up into there, and this piece right here you push all the way down. Now you flip the leg back, make sure everything's out the way, because it should go around. And it's not going around. I get some elbow grease, that's all. And then once it's around, you get this out the way a little bit and you push this forward. It's on that piece right there, it goes forward. There you go. Then you can flip this up, move this in, and tab all this together. There we go, one leg done, and I don't know why this thing right here is loose now. So let's go over here, do the same thing. Flip out this, flip out the window, flip out the tires and the wheel hub. Flip this out, flip it. You don't even have to flip it up. But then you want to, for me, it's easier to just get this situated at the same time. Just be careful, because there's a little peg right there that you want to kind of get around everything. But I kind of just do that, and then you can just get it around. Then flip this. And kind of, to me, it's kind of intuitive. It looks weird when you're watching somebody do it, but when you do it, you can kind of get it, if you can understand that. Hopefully you can. You flip this up here. This is where it gets hard, because there's not a lot of room. You know, a lot of transformers are like this. You just gotta flip this up here and then flip this back. Make sure this is down. There we go. Then flip this back. There we go. Then you got to get this closed in over here. This gets difficult the second leg because of the space. You don't have the space to maneuver. And then you want to make sure this is down here like that. This one isn't loose at all. The other one's loose. And then move this up. Oh, it's already up. Then I move this bumper down. Move that out. There's a peg there. That peg's inside of. I moved this one first because it's an over under again. So I just put the one that goes under in first, and you peg it in here. Pretty tight. Pull this out, and then I'll put these together, because you're gonna have enough room in order to get this. And just peg these together. And I'll put that down, put this where it needs to be. There we go. This ain't right. It ain't right exactly. This this gave me, I did this the third time I'm doing it. I've done it 3 times in a row and it has not given me this much trouble. But now that I'm on camera, of course, it's gonna be a beast. There we go. Sheesh. Then this over under, kind of push that in there. Make sure this door is open. Keep the doors open because the doors can open. So it's easier. Just keep them open. Then this gets frustrating right here. But jeez. And see, back that came out. That might be part of the reason why it's not going in right. So now gotta fix this crap. That wasn't bad. Like I said, that might be the reason why it was not going in over here. Home stretch. You know this is a pain too. Now you got to get these two underneath this, which is, I don't know the trick. I say I push it like all the way down as far as it can go, and then flip it, get it under there, and then flip it up. There you go. Then you move this down here, peg those 2 pegs in underneath here. I don't really think it pegs in. I think it's just like rest in. But then there's little pegs that go on the top as well. Again. There we go. Make sure this is squeezed tightly. And also make sure this is out the way. The second time I did that. It'd probably be better to just leave these down here, even though they tell you to lift them up earlier. But because when you lift them up, first you want to push this up too. Pull that up. And then these have 2 pegs on the side that go into the back peg hole right here. That's why I leave the doors for last, because get that pegged in, get this pegged in. There we go. Then get this back together. Like I said, I knew that was gonna come out. But once all this is in, it's not as bad to get back together because it's where it needs to be. And peg this down. And you close the doors, and there's a little peg right there that will go in that peg hole, the top. This right here is loose, but it doesn't hurt. And here we are. I love this car. It's really nice. Like I said, it's like the penny racers. I wish they would have put the spring in there. Nah, no, I don't. I don't need that gimmick. But it would have been cool. Just rung it back and then it'll go. Yeah, it brings back extra nostalgia because Cliffjumper for one. And the fact that, oh, you can get that closed a little bit better. And the fact that penny racers, I used to have penny racers. So yeah, that's dope. Now you can bring this little setup in. I always get confused because they got the same thing. This is the back. And then you have this little piece right there. You can stick right there. And you have that. So if you want that, you have it. But then you have this gimmick. What I suggest is put them in at an angle, because I was tearing my tires up if I didn't put it in that angle and then put it up. And the silver's on the outside, so that's how you can, they're pretty much the same, but the silver's on the outside, so you know that it's okay. The angle thing don't seem to be working. Still tearing up my tires. There we go. Just gotta be gentle. And there you go. You have this, which this looks great too. And he slides around. I like the little paint on the headlights. I don't know if I like that metallic type, but it gives a little unique look to it. Windshields are different. The back windshield is a different shade, so I know that might rub people the wrong way. Doesn't bother me because it doesn't look terrible. Like it doesn't, it's just a different type of material, it feels like, or looks like. It's less translucent than the other. Like I said, it don't bother me. It's like the back window's tinted or something. I make up a narrative for anything. Back to robot. Yes, I'm going back to robot. So I started and wasn't recording. My bad. Basically what you do, you take these windows out of here, out of this hole. I open the doors first. That's what I was saying in the beginning, because the doors can open, but there is a little gap here that doesn't look great, depending on what surface. But I open the doors first when I'm going back. Then I try to get these windows out of here, which I've already done. And I just put them down here like that. And then I pry this up. This is super tight on there once you get it pegged on. So I pry that up, and then I kind of pull that up like that, and then get this window out of here. Which is super hard, and I'm afraid I'm gonna kind of break it. I don't know. This is probably one of the parts that I get scared the most, but you can do it. You see it just up here like that. Then this moves around here and kind of clamps this, or it's supposed to. Then I'll just leave it like that. And you get these out this side first because of the over under peg, and then push it up and it pegs in at the top. And I do this side. Pegs in at the top. And so don't peg it over. Split that first. And you kind of get this out of here, which ain't hard because it's not it's hard to put in. So you just pull that, pull this a little bit farther. Man, thought I broke it. This thing, the ball joint hook holder, whatever, is moves around. That's how these slide around. So then you just get this out of here. Slide that, pull that down. So now I can get this back on the ball joint so you can see it correctly. There we go. Now you want to flip this back open. Stuff starts falling and getting in your way. Namely, I turn it upside down just to keep this from falling down, but it's just harder to get to this leg like upside down. So keep that in mind. There we go. Pull that out here. Move this up. And then you can kind of understand where it's going. You kind of move it like that again. Then hook this back together. And there you go. Flip this window in. Flip this leg down. Tab it in right there. Flip this back. Then flip this back, and it kind of, you can see where it fits that little window. And there's a peg right here that pegs into the back. There we go. Got a leg done. Over here as well. Kind of get this out of here. This is floppy mess. But now you got a little bit more room. You can pull this leg out of here. Same time you're moving this around, get this accordion out like that. Like I said, you can kind of get this where you need it to be. Pull it up. Move this around here. Move this like that. Now fold this down. Fold this in, fold this wheel up, and fold this in here. Like that. Now flip this around. Pull this out. Now it's not going to want to come out, of course. There we go. Keep this over here like that. And this is easy to come out once the other one is out. Spoken like a true fool. All right. So move these windows down. I thought I already did that. Maybe I just did it on one side. And then move this over here and down. It goes like that. Same over here. Move this over here and down. Goes like that. Move this out of here. Flip this head up. And then put this in here like this. I kind of move this up just to move the arms out the way. And then don't forget, you gotta, it's easier to close this by squeezing right here. You get them tightly closed. Flip this in and move it back up there. Covers up that little side stuff. Move that back up there. Now you can move this up here like this and flip this down here. like that, and you flip this around here because it pegs in there. Get them arms right. And there's a peg back here that pegs in this and kind of keeps both of those, keep those together. You see it right there. Once you do that, all this becomes solid and it just doesn't move. It's funny that this flimsy piece does all that, but it works. It works. There we go. I would just be careful with that peg and these pegs because it is plastic. Now with the arms, you accordion the arms out and push these back up. Put it to the elbow. Then this right here, if it's not too loose, goes up there. Again over here, accordion the arms. Flip this. Flip it around and flip it around this way, and I think everything's good. I think I've done everything. So here's Cliffjumper, Fanstoys FT-53 Parkour. Just my ending, I guess, thoughts. I love the figure. I love the figure. I just think it feels a little more flimsy than I'm used to for a Fanstoys figure. And also, it kind of reminds me of a Takara figure. And that's not in a good way. Not the good Takara figures. Not the good Takara masterpieces. The ones that, you know, y'all know. They haven't been great, all of them. But, I mean, it is solid. It's probably a little more solid than, say, a Takara piece. So, yeah, I'm definitely, this is my Cliffjumper. And it's good. It's a good piece. It's, like I said, not without its issues, as many are, but it does have a little more blaring issues than some. All right, thanks for watching this video, and I will get up with y'all in another one.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.